Hey guys, it's Max Convexity. Hope everyone's having a good day. I wanted to come on here and give some remarks on the new funds that have come out the past couple of days. Of course, there's the Roundhill funds, and those pay weekly, which seems kind of crazy to me, but that's good. If you want a weekly payer, I guess Roundhill's the only game in town right now. Back in the old days, everything used to be quarterly, and it was rare to have a monthly, and now monthly is the de facto standard. But also the SPYT, the new Defiance Fund that came out, they're calling it I forget, it's a target income fund. I think the idea on the fund is they just try to make 20%, they just try to pay you 20%. So it's not yield max, or it's not one where they're just going to collect as much premium as they can, like QQQY, and pay it out to you. They're going to just collect a targeted amount, which is 20%, which I really like it. And the main reason is this: 20% is about a third of what these funds can pay on a good day. You know, Jay always says he wants to average a quarter basis point or a quarter bip or whatever, 25 basis points, but there's 250 days in a year. You multiply 25 times 250, it comes to 60. So that's about, that's about what the QQQY pays when it's really going well. A fund that only paid 20 would be paying about a third of that. The thing I like about the third is because this is a different way of doing it, but this abides by the rule of reinvesting 2/3. This study right here, I have it up. I did have it up. All right. This study right here, Seeking Income, Cash Flow Distribution Analysis of S&P 500 Buy Right Strategies. All right, these guys at S&P Global, this is one of the greatest research papers ever written on covered calls. And they talk about all the there's different methodologies that the Chicago Board of Options that they follow. They all have slight differences in the methodology. But what they do is they take each and every one of those methodologies and they test the distribution rate. Who was it? It was Adriano that said that passive income investing, and he was saying rightly so that the only difference between these covered call funds is the way they distribute the money, how much they pay out to you, and I agree with that. That is a gigantic difference in it, and the difference in how they do that affects how the rest of the fund performs, because of course it affects the NAV's performance, which everyone's so concerned about. So these guys, they didn't say in here they were trying to find a number to make it where they didn't have a problem with the NAV. What I did is I took their study and I looked. This strategy they were using was making about 18%. This way they took 4.5%, so that's a little bit less than 2/3. Okay, but on this one where the NAV was straight across over a 10-year period, they took 6%, which was a third. So I think that taking a third or reinvesting 2/3, however you want to look at it, is the magic number. All of these studies they ran. Here's a different methodology, and 6% or 1/3, was kind of the magic number to what you could get out of one of these things. Now these were monthly. This was a monthly buy right strategy, and SPYT and all the Defiance funds are doing daily strategies, and I haven't seen any studies on a daily strategy, but by looking at the monthly strategy, it looks like 1/3 is the 1/3 of the dividend, or reinvesting 2/3 of it back in. However you want to look at it, that's kind of the sweet spot. So, and I would assume it would be the same way on dailies as well. And on the Roundhill ones, yeah, they look really interesting, for sure. It looks like what they're doing is using some kind of poor man's covered call. I tried to look these up, but some of these go out to 2025. So I think they're using a leap for the underlying, and I can't really tell if it's just a call for the leap or a call and a put. So they're using leaps to create a synthetic. in any event, it's a great idea. It's cool. I'm glad they're paying weekly. Yes, and of course I'm going to cover it. People have asked if I'm going to cover it. You betcha. I'm going to cover all these, and I have been. So I got a new spreadsheet from Tiger. You guys probably know him. His name's Tiger on Fire. He has a good YouTube channel about retirement and high yield funds, and he's a great source. But he's a really good. Well, he's a good friend for one thing to do this for me, but he's really good at spreadsheets, and he took one of my videos and in one of my bad spreadsheets and made it into an actual good usable spreadsheet. I appreciate it so much. So yes, I'm going to follow. Everything's going to be on here for sure, and then I'll be making videos off here. But I just put the 2 Roundhill funds on here. They're down at this end. So XDTE, QDTE. I need to load some more info into them, but I also put anytime we have a new fund come out, I'm going to put it in here. I want to put the SPY one down with the rest of the Defiance one down with the rest of the Defiance funds, but I'll figure out how to do that later. But yeah, so I'm gonna they're all gonna get followed, and we're gonna talk about them all, and also not to mention these will be on the I'll do profit boxes for the Defiance one, but on the Roundhill ones they'll be on the buffer report, and yeah, and we'll be covering them. I'm excited if they can pay it weekly and make it work. I'll be excited to see what kind of return they can get and how they do it. I saw Retire on Dividend made a video about the Roundhill funds yesterday. I just need to watch his video. I'm sure he explained exactly what they're doing with the synthetic. I haven't watched anyone's video. I've been busy. I've been making a really good video of my own. That's I found a video of a hedge fund conference in Miami from the week before last, and Jay was there. But it was basically, they had a few sessions they video recorded. Yeah, I'm such a boomer. They had a few sessions that somebody filmed, of course, with the iPhone, probably. And anyway, it's basically Jay and all his, or not all his, but some other hedge fund bros talking about what's going on with this industry, the option and the alternative income, option-based ETF industry, and it's just blowing up. And they were saying that we're just right at the very beginning of the innovation on it, and we're in the first inning, and there was a lot of good information in there. So I'm making a good video where I break down some of that information and kind of try to tell everyone what's coming, to all these funds. I like to cover any fund that uses hedge fund type strategies or option strategies to either for hedging or to get an income like these Defiance funds do it. They do it for income. This idea they have, so I looked on Tasty Trade, and I did it, and I back tested it, and yeah, you can do the strategy they're doing where they, instead of selling a call, they sell a call spread. But in any event, and the numbers bear out, it looks like it makes about a third as much premium collected. But that's going to be good news because that's the magic number, and they also own a call. So they're short a call and they own a call. So over a certain point, so on big up days, this fund will actually participate. Well, it won't participate, but it won't be capped in any event. So basically, all they do is they own the SPY. 97% of the fund's the SPY, and then they sell an at the money call. So that's not the greatest idea. They sell here's what that would look like. They sell a 50 Delta call. Or I'm not saying it's not the greatest, but it's what Global X does. They've been doing the at the money. So at the money, caps all the upside. But Global X just sells the call, so they are 100% capped. Well, the way Defiance is doing it with SPYT is they're going right here, they're buying a call behind it. So they're selling a call spread. They're short a call, and then they're long a call. The at the money's like a 50 Delta. The next one's like a 45 or 30. Like a 40 or 35. But when you run the back test on it, it comes out great. It's these guys are going to do great, but it has the effect. It's the same thing as or it's similar to if you did a fund that took all the money and reinvested 2/3 of it. But this is more efficient because instead of having to go through that, they just programmed the fund to make 2/3 less by virtue of you aren't going to make as much because the call they bought is a drag on the income. It's, you know, it's an expense. And so anyway, even though they're still going to make money, they figured they can pay 20% or about 1/3 of what they have been paying with this strategy and not cap the upside. And they own the SPY, or I'm trying to think. Well, it's not capped. It's not as capped as it would be. It's not as capped as if they just sold the call. I guess it uncaps whenever it passes the other call. So let's look at this. Okay, so it's the red box on here. This morning, whenever I found out about this, the first bar, the green bar, was just being drawn, and they blew through the frickin', you know, they'd already blown through the box. But anyway, they sold so I think they probably do this right after the open is what this looks like. And that's good. They don't subject themselves to risk at night. The QQQY strategy has overnight risk. Now, it also gets paid overnight premium, so it gets more premium, but that's a max premium collection strategy. But that's also a max risk strategy because they put on the trade the night before. Anything could happen overnight. So it looks like these guys put on the trade in the morning. They sell an at-the-money call or just out of the money because they sold the 51.50 this morning and they bought the 51.60 behind it. So if the SPY goes up and goes through here, they still make the difference between these for income. But then above 51.60, they're long ETF shares. They're 97% of the funds, just long SPY shares. Those are still free to appreciate, you know, when you get above the call spread. I guess that's the problem. If it was just a sold naked call, it loses 1-to-1 as fast as the underline makes 1-to-1, so it totally caps. Yeah, but this way you're uncapped over 51.60. So that's good because there's lots of days the market's up 1%, and you know, or 1.5%. Not lots of days, but at least a couple days a month lately. Anyway, those days you get to fully participate. So yeah, I like this fund. I sure do like the idea of it. All right, well, let's check in on the rest of these funds while I got you here. Do a noon update. So evidently the market sold off. It was good this morning. Then I went to work on this video, and I'm working on that hedge fund video too. Hopefully it'll be out maybe this afternoon. It's a good video. I can't wait for you guys to see it. But I wanted to come on here and comment about the Roundhill funds and about the Defiance. The Defiance SPYT. Okay, well anyway, this hopefully will turn around and go back up. QQQY is probably showing a loss right now. I guess we could just look at it. Gosh darn it. I wanted to come on and have good news. I figured it would be a big Friday, big update. Yeah, but back to this thing. Thanks a lot to Tiger for making it, and he made it, and he's been helping me fill it out. Anyway, he's been taking time away from his life to help me, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, we're going to have more on this in the days to come. This will be for massive. I'll be able to do comparisons between funds instantly, and this is good. I'm really excited about this. Maybe some of the single stocks will be doing a little better than these funds are doing. Now, last time I checked, Russell was full profit. Oh yeah, I was going to check the spreadsheet. Yeah, Russell's still 100% profit. We could check the spreadsheet, but it's early. Let's just look at the charts. See how Tesla's doing. All right, Tesla rolled to some new contracts. Or actually, I don't think they technically roll because I think these are still open up here. Anyway, but they initiated a new position for next week down here at 187.50, I think is what that's supposed to be. or maybe I just drew the line sloppy, but maybe it's probably 187. In any event, good for them. I'm sure they will buy those other options back as soon as they're worth a penny. They probably did already get them back. They probably did roll. But a roll insinuates closing one and opening the other, doing it consecutively. All right, here's NVIDIA. Well, what is going on with the market? Maybe we've had a cyber attack. It looks like they're attacking my MacBook. Well, let's do this. Since the charts aren't working, we'll just check the spreadsheets. Okay, they're up 1.1 million right now on IWMY. Showing a $1.1 million loss on QQQY at this point. Still showing a small profit on JEPY at this point. $101,000 out of a possible $700,000 they're going for. Hopefully the QQQYs will turn around and go back the other direction. We'll see. So let's look at if you want to, let's look at Tress real quick. Well, I'm showing they've slipped back into the valley of death, but I'll check on that. We'll get the close of the day's prices, and I'll get an official total on that after the market closes. All right, guys, have a great afternoon.